welcome back to part 2 of our conversation with Landon Moore and episode 21 of the Sarah and Suzanne Real Estate Investing Podcast.
Woo! If you missed part 1, you should definitely go back and watch it, because today we're diving even deeper into the mindset and the habits that actually move the needle in real estate and in your life.
That's right. In this episode, Landon talks about what it really takes to take action, even when you're scared or you're stuck in analysis paralysis, or if you think you need to wait around for the perfect deal.
And we get into how your environment, your habits, and even your calendar can make or break your goals.
Yep. And maybe most importantly, we talk about what it means to fail forward. And it's not something to avoid. It's actually something to use and leverage.
So if you are building something big or small and you want a little bit of motivation and maybe some hard truths about things like consistency and discipline, you're going to want to stick around for this one.
Yep. Those are 2 of our favorite words. Without further ado, let's get into episode number 2.
I think something we could circle back on is just, you talked a lot about being in the research phase, and we know that so many people get stuck in the analysis phase, and we see that at our own meetup. So I think, what is that shift? How is it a certain type of person? Is it truly accessible? Can anybody truly do this? Or are there people that you would meet and say, maybe this isn't for you? And so I think maybe in our rooms, right? Maybe the reason we come isn't always what we leave with too, right? So I don't know. I think let's circle back to getting through our analysis paralysis, and how does anybody do this?
Yep.
Can they? And if not, then what should they be doing?
Yep.
Totally. And one question I want to add to that is,
I know.
and maybe this is just what I see a lot of times with people, is once there's skin in the game, once I've paid someone to hold me accountable and I'm like, oh shit, I got to make back my $10,000.
So true.
It's so much more motivating.
So true.
But
It's
how
so
do you
true.
get from reading books by the pool
to committing?
Paying $10,000?
For anecdotally speaking, for me, it starts with it starts with relationships. It's changing your tribe. It's changing your vibe. And so if you can get in the room, most of this meetup, yes, I'm bringing leads that are genuine. There's deals sitting there. I bring 500 leads every single week that there's deals there. How hard do you want to work to go get it? So there's some mindset stuff there. And there's a couple girls that messaged me and said, hey, we've called every single one of these. They want it. I love hearing that. That's cool. That isn't the goal necessarily. They don't see that. They think it is. But the goal is truly to see Holly come back and sit with, and Chris be there, and create this micro community that you guys have beautifully created of support mechanisms. 3 days ago, I had a speakerphone call with Justin Stevens over a deal up on Mount Hood, and we chatted about he's going to put together a hybrid offer on a deal. It's all about creating that community that you have someone out there you can talk to and speak entrepreneur with.
Yeah.
And start to have, that is the starting place.
It's like that imposter syndrome situation that happens too. I think maybe getting in that room where you actually feel like you have the support and the people to back you up when you get into a situation that you don't know how to answer. And then I even think, like you said, the girl said that they've called the whole list. I think there's a lot of value to actually going through that process, even if it doesn't materialize in anything. We did that. We were afraid to do that. Now we did that. And now we can move on to our next step.
That's exactly right. Ultimately, I could sit here and say, just take action. But that won't pierce anyone's brain, because they're going to go, what action do I take? And so the message I want to share is just simply get into the room of people who are doing the thing and taking the action. And through what's the word I'm trying to think of, but through being around there.
Osmosis.
Bingo. I was going very different amortization. I was sitting at for a minute. I was everywhere.
Expose.
That's a good word. I dropped it today for you.
I know.
But no, so getting in that room around doers, movers, shakers. And I tell you, the energy when you leave, if it's true and pure, you're going to walk, maybe not, okay, cool, I know what I'm going to do, but moreover, okay, cool, I found people who are doing something in the vehicle of what I want to be around and do.
Yeah.
You and I may never do the same thing, but there's so many ways you and I can collaborate. I reach out to you hey, do you want to be a private money lender on a deal that I'm doing? And so there's so many ways, but you wouldn't know that unless I didn't hear what you did. So I want to hear what interests people. Chris is moving into the commercial space. That is awesome. We need that for this community to talk about what you're doing. How can creative finance incorporate into that and all those little things? And so I think that's the biggest thing, is that's the first step of action, is showing up to these when you're unsure, especially someone like me who showed up when I'm I have no value to bring. What I thought, that was more of an identity crisis than it was truly I didn't have value to bring.
And that's what I was going to say, putting yourselves in these rooms, you're putting yourself in a situation where you have mirrors, you have an opportunity to reflect. I always say to new real estate agents, you have to know yourself first. That is the most important thing in all of this. And a lot of people will walk into a room and maybe not know themselves as well as they could, and having the opportunity to learn and have a reflection of what they are good at and bad at and maybe don't like, and have the chance to fit that into a box that works in real estate.
Those too, like there's so many different avatars. You touch on this, so you mentioned it multiple times, and especially for me. I went in thinking that there's only one way to do things and one way to make a deal, one way to make money in real estate and business entrepreneurship. And that couldn't be further from the truth. It's actually the opposite. It's actually, there's too many shiny objects.
Yeah.
That is the hardest part of real estate. There's just so many different ways to make money and do things. And so finding and eliminating who you're not. Like there's so many things that I'm learning that I am not moving forward, but having done them, I had to learn that.
Yeah.
And I won't go any further into that and push into that more. You're not going to probably see me purchase, if any, more Airbnbs. From experience, I own multiple Airbnbs where they do very well. They're gangster properties, beautiful, the mural, the heated pool, really cool things. But like you learn through your risk tolerance, you learn through your rental tolerance of what you want to manage. It's just, my time is better served in a different arena. You got to go out and do the thing and fail
in order
and
to figure that out.
And that's just it. I have shared this too with people at the last meetup. And again, it's so hard when you haven't done anything to really see this, is that I embrace now in a way, it's really hard to do this, but it's embracing the deals that don't go through or fail or that are harder than your lay down deals, is that I genuinely get excited because I know it's harder for everyone. And so I know our team will push through those things. And I'm going to learn so much that when it comes up again, we're going to know how to handle that situation.
Oh my gosh. I always say we really are in a school of hard knocks in what we do, in that we don't go to get an education in real estate, right? Real estate educates us every single day. And so much value in us going through those failures that we can bring then to our clients.
You mentioned too, sorry to interrupt, you mentioned too, when I came here last week, I think it was, that your seller had just signed a listing agreement and passed away.
Yeah.
That's a new world that you didn't think was going to happen when you woke up that morning. And so all those little things, and it's every day is different for me. Every single day. We have a mold issue happening at one of our properties right now. I have to replace a pool heater at a different property. We have literal sewage happening at one of our properties right now. I just purchased this one. We just walked into a flooring issue I was just at right before I came here. And so it's nonstop. There's something that comes up. It's never just calm waters. It's always a turbulent mess. And I'm grateful for that, because the hard decisions I made put me in the position to have these problems. The problems are not going to go away. They just evolve and grow.
It also is just I say, you got to get real low to feel the real highs too, right? You have the contrast.
So true.
You know how bad and stressful it can really be, and then it really makes you.
Oh, then you have a $60,000 and you're like,
really good time.
Okay, well, this is great.
I guess I can do this.
I'll do it. To this point, this is not to brag whatsoever, but right before I came here, literally, I went to the property there because we have an issue with the floor, and I went back home to get everything ready. My wife dropped me off here because she has the pickup, and I booked our trip in November. We're going to go spend 5 nights in St. Lucia, and then we fly from there to Punta Mita in Puerto Vallarta. Never been to either of those places. We're going to spend 4 or 5 nights there for our 10-year anniversary. And so these lows I go through are so worth it when I can earn that. It makes me so proud of the person who 5 years ago, there's no chance I could have committed to a trip like that or thought of a trip like that and requested the PTO and all those different things. And now it's it feels so good and fulfilling. It's I am architecting and putting together all the crappy days into that I can earn this for my family.
Yeah, and that's the definition of true wealth, which is being able to do what you want, when you want, with the people you want to do it with.
That's exactly right.
And that's what we're all here for. And the beauty that you bring too, I think, is that you're still doing this with a W-2.
Yeah. That's what I was just going to say. You are in a really unique
so you're
position.
still requesting PTO, which seems but we also know, just from knowing you, that's fulfilling for you on some level. And one thing that I know about myself, and maybe you're the same, is busy people get more done. So if you didn't have your W-2, would you be grinding as hard on the real estate? Maybe you would, but I just know when I have a lot going on, I get a lot more of my own stuff done, my own real estate. So
I was really thinking about that one hard.
No, there's a couple side things here. Number one is I noticed, this is a weird little side tangent. This probably is not going to be on the podcast. I noticed I get a lot done when I have to pee.
Oh,
When I have to pee, I get shit. I will get it all done, and I hold it so I can get everything done. It's really weird. I was thinking about that.
It's interesting, but I think it's really true. If you had all the time in the world, I think this is called the Moore principle. Actually, we'll have to look this up and see if it's legit. But there's this principle that we take the amount of time we have to get the things done that we have to do. So if you have a condensed amount of time, if you say, I've got to fit this in the 2 hours where I'm not at my W-2, you get it done in 2 hours. Whereas if you had your full 8 hours, you would spread it over 8 hours.
It's so true. It's so true. It gets me deep thinking because I personally, this is actually a weakness of mine. I think I have a mindset issue related to a W-2. W2. I do enjoy it. I genuinely do. And I love how I set it up. I get to use my engineering brain with my creative brain and like problem solve. And a lot of it really cool, really actually interestingly enough, is overlapping with the new business acquisition I just made, because a lot of the architectural sets I'm looking at, literally the next chapter is my business I bought that would be bidding on the same projects. Kind of interesting. But I do think there is a limited belief mindset toward it, in that when will I know?
When is it not
should?
enough?
I don't know. And so it's like there's going to be this level of standing in the bathroom door frame, talking to my wife, okay, I'm going to commit to this. There's going to be that moment. I don't know when it is.
Yeah.
And it keeps getting pushed out mentally in my head because I have a 2.5-year-old, but I keep using those excuses. And so I think I do need to put like a time date on that and how to achieve those things. And so it's, anyway.
I had to do that too when I left.
Yeah. But
And I kept moving it, but then finally it worked out better
Totally.
than I ever could have imagined.
And that's ultimately, that's what I'm obviously hoping for. It isn't a burden so much so that I'm not able to do what I'm wanting to do in the real estate world. And so like for anyone out there who has a W2, like if you're wanting to get into real estate, if you're wanting to get into entrepreneurship and whatnot, and you have the skills and you can get out of a true laborious opportunity and get into where you have more freedom to be on the phone and on a computer and whatnot, and still provide the work that you do, but get into a position that allows you the freedoms to start creating your business, I would highly recommend finding that. Like I talk about that, funny enough, in a book called Set for Life by Scott Trench. It's a very like chapter 1 of the real estate education series in Bigger Pockets world. He used to be the CEO of Bigger Pockets like many moons ago. And one of them was like, if you have a role or a job, find another opportunity that is either more scalable, like a sales role that can provide you more active income to buy more real estate, or find something that has more time freedom that maybe isn't more money, but allows you to educate and put yourself toward those things. And so I would, at my desk back when I would be in the office as an engineer, AirPods in and freaking just podcasting it up while I'm working on a grocery store or an elementary school or stuff. So it's just like all in on trying to make that dream a reality.
So for someone who is in your position back in 2018, you just bought your first house, felt like you wanted to have more freedom and not always trade your time for money and have essentially a plan B so that you have the freedom to leave that W2 when you're ready. Like, where would you recommend someone start? Is it consumption of podcasts, books, going to meet, a combination of those things? Like, give us a quick playbook of what someone should do.
Well, there's a few things. So what I would say is sit down and do a 2-week, 1-month audit and be freaking sober about it. Be genuine about looking on your life. How late are you staying up? Like, what do your days look like in terms of how you organize and live your life with the intentionality of your days? Are you structured? I'm not saying you need to be Mr. But moreover, are you staying up till 11, 12 and then not waking up till 8 or 9 because you're binging Netflix and you're eating terrible foods? Right. And then are you eating good foods that'll power your brain? Like all those things, right? And then
I love where this answer is going. Keep
do
going.
your days, is what you're listening to in your ears, is it fueling your mind and your soul? Or you're listening to the new Morgan Wallen album. Listen, I love it. I love it. But is that what's helping me? Or is the new Alex Rosie podcast going to help me shift my thought in this new business? And so swapping out on the drives, swapping out to a podcast or an audiobook, or I literally poach an Audible subscription off of a friend to get Audibles. And I listened to more than he did. Okay. And I would buy books with his credits. Whenever you get a monthly credit, I'd hit and I'd steal it before he'd get it. I did it all, like all those little things and listen to all those things. So start with you first. Don't dive into all these different developments and all these little masterminds yet. Start with you first and really audit those things. And that'll help identify who you are as a person first. And
What's the output of that? I need structure, engineer.
What's the output of that?
Yeah. What am I looking for? Okay. I audit myself for 2 weeks to a month.
Yeah.
What are my 3 things that I'm taking away from that audit?
Yeah. So from there, you're auditing how you're fueling yourself. That fueling yourself, obviously, I do genuinely mean food. That's one thing. But more importantly, it's what you're listening to, who you're speaking with, and who your community is. So like I think by changing your tribe, changing the 5 people who influence you and who you talk to, like I think about that often and I watch people's conversations and people around me on who they speak with. And I have someone very close to me that when they receive a phone call from this particular person who is related to them, I just sigh because I know it's purely complaining. It's purely just, woe is me, my life is harder than anyone else's, all these different things. And I'm like, that's sad on them, but shame on them for pouring that into the person on the phone. So changing out the tribe and auditing those things. Do I have friends that feel me and push me and want to see me do more? And they aren't afraid for me to put myself out there? Are they judging me? And so looking at that. And so really it's auditing. So from an output standpoint, it really changes everything. Like the fabric of your life, if you change what you listen to, what you eat, who you talk with, and how you spend your time, your life will in that month time frame. It's going to take time. It's like turning a ship. It's not going to be instantaneous. Never will be. You can't do that. You're going to get pushback from everyone in your life. Your wife loves you for who you are. But I can tell you right now, my wife loves me more for the version of a man that I am now, as a husband, as a father, as an entrepreneur, and all these different things for the life we have, versus the man who was puka shells and frosted tips. Right?
Was that you?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Finger every 3 months. She was just like,
That was not then. That was not 2018.
Oh,
2020. No, it was like
the way
so
back
crazy. It's
machine.
right when we met here in Bend. What was that? Like 2020 or 2013?
I love it.
Wild. I don't know what I was doing. But anyway, and so it's more over like finding you first. So for anyone out there,
So
it's
got
like
our audit. Find you first. Yeah.
audit yourself. Matthew McConaughey talks about in the podcast, figure out who you're not. Eliminate those things 1st.
Mhm.
Figure out really who you are. By default, you will find who you are. Okay. Number one is get rid of like the easy low-hanging fruit of you shouldn't be boozing. You shouldn't be doing drugs. You shouldn't be eating that bad food. You shouldn't be talking to that person that makes you feel like crap every time or makes you resent and guilty and all those things. Eliminate those things. Yes, it's hard, but it's worth it. It's worth every ounce. Okay. Number one.
Okay.
Number two is now you have to transfer that energy, transfer that time and that focus and that attention on things that are going to fuel you. And that means changing your tribe. So getting into local communities, literally Googling local real estate groups, finding the tribe who are people. And some of those people in the real estate groups aren't even in real estate. They own real estate or they lend in real estate. They own businesses. They're a byproduct of real estate. So it's not even just like Mr. Like the square thing. Don't go into it that close-minded thinking, and find that and go in and then begin start listening to those podcasts and those books and start slowly inching the ship a different direction. And it's crazy what 1% effort every day, you start shifting who you talk to, what you eat, and all those things, how you feel better. Like it's bananas.
3.5 months is 100 days. That's 100% increase or improvement, right?
Math.
Yeah.
You're the engineer.
I like structure.
So do I. I'm very structured, very intentional. You look at my calendar now, I definitely am a little gross. And so no one's going to live to the level of like how I operate. It's just the way I operate.
In your inbox.
Inbox is very like detailed. My stars
I know.
represent things. My
Yeah.
calendar is very time blocked, intentional, down to some days 15-minute increments of tasks and things. Mondays are pretty hectic for me, which is good. I want it that way. I want to wake up Monday. Like Monday's my favorite day of the week because it's like it's the most that we get to do. This is like cool, it's awesome. Whereas most people like flip the script.
Yeah.
Like I have a close relative who lives for Friday. That mindset, and so that means inversely, they hate Mondays because they hate what they do. They hate who they are. They hate all those little things. And so it's like, how can we flip that script? How can we inverse that and do what I had a conversation like many years ago with someone. I'm like, I'm just trying to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. That's it.
Yeah.
How can I do that? By showing up for myself every day, going to the gym every single day, eating good foods, like, and hanging. Anyways, that also was a testament to I was in the wrong tribe at the time, right? I was doing bad things because I was around the wrong people. Now I'm in a place where I'm around awesome people like you guys that are doing more, achieving more and whatnot. It just pushes me to want to be more. And so that's the starting place, is getting around the people, because you can't do it alone. It goes back to teamwork. And you need the support mechanisms around you from a standpoint of people. And it's crazy. You have no idea all of that delayed gratification of like, maybe today nothing went positive, of like consistently showing up, that there's going to be a day in 15 days, 30 days, 90 days, 180 days that is like the spark that's like, oh my gosh, that connection I just made will change your life. So case in point, small story.
Yeah.
Early on in my creative finance days of like figuring out creative finance, I was, again, all about relationships. That has not stopped. I've always been that person of just like talking to people. I meet this gal at a real estate meetup. Her name is Kathy Craig. Okay. And she's out of LA area, but she's over in Arizona. We meet and we just chit chat, and we're just talking and just getting to know each other more of a personal level, like kind of what are you doing? All those different things. And I remember at the time, I thought she was a private money lender. So I'm like wine and dine. I'm like trying to like schmooze and build a relationship. And so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna take you out to lunch. And so we went out to lunch in Arizona at a place called Flower Child. Doesn't matter. We sat there for 3 hours and just talked. Hour in, I realized she's not a private money lender at all. And that's the next 2 hours. It was just relationship building. So for the better, but still, what chalked it up is missed this one. And still had a good relationship. We would check in with each other every 3 months or so, 2 months or so, and just, hi, good to see your name, whatever. And fast forward to March of this year, I'm in Dallas, Texas for a real estate conference. And I'm walking down the promenade deal and I see her. It's my first time seeing her in person in maybe a year. And so we embrace and we say hi and we had the same conversation. What are you doing? And she asked me that question. And I talk about how we're acquiring a business. My business partner and I are purchasing a business. It was her father's. So he's retiring. He wants to just go play flamenco guitar in Spain and do whatever. And we're buying it. And it's a commercial flooring business out of San Francisco. And she starts bawling her eyes out, crying on the spot. And I'm like, is it the flamenco guitar? Like, I still don't even know what a flamenco guitar is. And she goes, you realize that I bought my dad's business, which was a commercial flooring business, and ran it for 25 years. And it was like that connection of a relationship I made 2 years ago that originally I thought she was a private money lender. I didn't realize that we were going to make this connection. We sat down for 2 hours right after that moment where I went and grabbed my business partner. They bawled out together, crying, buying the business from her dad, all these things, shared mutual contacts. And now she's operating somewhat as a consultant to our business to ensure that we succeed. So it's like these little sparks of relationships that you have no idea who you're going to meet in the right moment for whatever you're doing. It's going to change the trajectory of one's life. That one relationship choice that I made 2 years ago is going to change the trajectory of this business succeeding. And so it's like these small decisions that you make and relationships that you build that it's just crazy. You don't see it in the moment.
Exactly.
You don't know it. You don't see it until it comes to fruition 6, 9, 12, 24 months later.
Yeah. There's a lot in the unseen, I think you said here too. And like you talk about it every once in a while, like you have to be a little bit aware in all this.
Yeah.
We're all a little
But I'm also very like, I've realized not repetitive. What's the word I'm thinking of? Like habitually consistent. And so being habitually consistent, I will operate regardless of the circumstances. Very similarly, I will operate and be in a good mood, even when there's no reason to be in a good mood. And so I am hyper consistent in showing up every single day, regardless of said outcomes of day. I have terrible days. The other day, I genuinely had a breakdown. Like it was a breakdown. I was overwhelmed, overstimulated, and all these things. But yet that morning and that following morning, I still went and worked out. I went to the gym. I maintained the routine. I didn't allow one bad instance to cataclysmically lead to 2, lead to 3, lead to all these different things. That's a huge thing too, is again, eliminate who you're not. Is like everyone makes mistakes. I fail all the time. It's fine. It's going to be part of it. Those problems are part of it. But don't allow that failure to then move on to, now I failed here, so this day is shot. It was one bad decision. You're going to live. You're going to make it through it. Don't allow that to cancel the rest of all the good things that have happened. You just had 3 bad days this year. The rest of it was great. So that's a huge mindset shift too for me, is getting through to that point. So that's a huge thing for people too.
The beauty of a hard workout is that when you're sweating a lot, your tears mix with your sweat. It's totally fine.
There's some mindset stuff too. There's some mindset stuff. Like early on, I would always say, because I'm a very much an early morning workout person. So I would look at I just got done by 6 a.m. Like no one else will do this for the rest of their entire day. I'm already ahead.
Oh yeah.
I'm already ahead. And so like from the standpoint of it's downhill from here. The day is not going to get harder than this today.
Absolutely.
That was a huge thing for me early on when I was like in this learning mode. Like for me, I needed to have that to like almost motivate and push me. Okay, cool. It's downhill from here. Like even if problems come up, they're not a big of a problem than that 40-minute grueling workout.
Totally. The hardest part of the day is over. And I think what you just said too is this, like you've created the structure in your life. So the days that you do have the bad days, you have that to fall back on, even maybe when you're not making the most sound emotional decisions. Like you at least can fall back and trust the fact that when you were having a good emotional day, you set your life up to the point where you know that if you just show up for the things in your calendar, it's going to get better.
Yeah. You're still doing your 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Oh my gosh.
This is so awesome. I feel like we're going to need a part 2 because there's so much more. I feel like we just scratched the surface, but y'all, we have our power hour.
I guess starting now.
So we have people out there waiting for us, but we just wanted to say thank you, Landon, for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me. Awesome. This is great.
Yeah, just for being authentic and you and sharing your stories and your passion. And I think also just getting beyond the money and it's like the why. What is this? How does this serve the people? Whether it's your teammates, yourself, the sellers, all the people that are involved in the transaction. That's huge. And that's so important for people to think about because that's what, like that generosity and gratitude is what begets more and more. Like you said, 10,000 fold. Everything I put out, I get back 10,000 fold.
Let's also, to wrap this up again, I will not go, is like there's so much into early on. It was about me. I was rowing my boat.
For sure.
No doubt. Like I was wanting me.
Yeah.
But
your foundation.
You quickly realize that one, life is so freaking short and shorter for some. And so I want to be around people and make people feel good and in any way that I can. And if they're showing up for themselves, if you're consistently showing up for yourself, that's the vibe I want to be around. And I'm going to show up for you in 10x in any way that I can provide you value. Yeah. And that I want to be around people who do the same thing. They see me showing up, they see what I need, what I lack, and they come in and step up and go, hey, I have this awesome opportunity. It looks like you're not great at this. And being like straight at it. I want those types of people so that all ships rise and we can all get better. So that's the whole basis here.
I love it.
Heck yeah.
Thank you guys.
We know why you're our people. So
thank you guys.
All right. Thanks everyone. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.